Hey guys, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and I want to talk to you today about good guys and bad guys. After all, it is the backbone upon which the WWE is built, and what I'd like to do today is talk about heels and faces in a way that doesn't just describe Adam Cleary's sexual proclivities, but about which guys and girls switched allegiances the most. And I don't really mean how many times per se, but also in terms of how much they swung from good guy to bad, as it's so interesting how completely new personas can be unearthed when the crowd is jeering instead of cheering. With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 WWE superstars that turned heel/face the most. Number 8, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's last 12 months have been some of the most eventful in his uneven WWE career, but the heel he plays alongside Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman isn't remotely the complete buffoon that he portrayed this time last year. Last year, he was content to come out dressed as gimmicky wrestlers as a gimmick to tell people that he didn't have a gimmick. Okay. He also just abandoned the United States Championship before Christmas, only to be back again soon after at the Royal Rumble, only to take a tumble despite landing the number 30 spot. Okay. Luckily, he's now gone full gloating douchebag on Raw and is now back to being an over-the-top but overly enjoyable performer, and it's finally become clear that this is the bad guy through and through that he was meant to play. All his attempts at baby-facing have been really left wanting, and even at his peak in 2013, his world title victory only resulted in a babyface turn when he was concussed enough to have the belt ripped from his grasp. The sympathy disappeared quicker than his spot at the top of the card, but now it is good to have you back on the dark side, Mr. Dolph. Number 7, The Big Show. Now close your eyes and think of a wrestler that has turned a lot during your time as a fan. Who do you see? Well, it is The Big Show. I literally can't count how many times he's turned during his career across WWE and WCW, but needless to say, he's been swapping groups more than your mum at BukkakeCon 2018. There's my one per list. But to put things into context, Big Show was both a face and heel within his first month in the company and had turned 5 times by the time that he was celebrating his 1-year anniversary at February's 2000 No Way Out. That is absolutely bullbag mad. Number 6, Natalya. Natalya is actually reaching the point in her career where she tragically has to turn without actually ever turning. As of her 2018 switch to Monday Night Raw, Natalya is now smiling again alongside Ronda Rousey as her best mate, but her mood has swung so much over the past few years that folks already immediately assumed a turn would come between the pair when she fancies a run at the former UFC star's Raw Women's title. Not unlike her uncle, Natalya has been cursed by her talent in comparison to her contemporaries. Overlooked and underappreciated at times, she suffered for her art by virtue of the repeated side switches. She's only really fortunate that the problem is so common in the modern era that her instability doesn't really particularly make her stick out from the rest. Number 5, Mark Henry. The world's strongest man pulled off perhaps the best swerve turn in company history when he drew tears from audiences and himself in a worked retirement speech back in 2013. Sporting a now legendary salmon jacket, Henry was so unflinchingly convincing in his role of a man facing a career crossroads that everybody bit before he bit back on the sympathetic John Cena with a world's strongest slam. It was Henry's best ever turn in a career, actually quite full of them. His first big turn came when he brutalized Ken I Swear I'm All Natural Shamrock to join the Nation of Domination back in 1998, but honestly, that fake retirement speech blew this out of the water. It may well sit as not just one of the greatest turns, but also one of the greatest segments that WWE has ever produced. Number 4, Triple H. It's never really been made clear, but the game changes at such a laughable rate these days that it's kind of pointless to even guess where he is on the scale. Hunter cosplayed as a member of The Shield in late 2017 when Roman Reigns got the mumps, but he was back working heel as a member of Team Raw at the subsequent Survivor Series. Then he set up a potential WrestleMania programs with Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon, looked comfy against former NXT projects like Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode, and then went over as one of the only survivors. Then we've got to take into account the mega heel that he was in the Ronda Rousey debut, and now it's not even clear whether he's the good guy or the bad guy in the upcoming feud with the Brothers of Destruction. He's the type of guy who loves to remove the dagger he stabbed you with in the back, because he'll need to stab you in the front with it about 2 weeks later. Number 3, the Bella Twins. The Bellas' return to the dark side at Ronda Rousey's expense has been something of a great relief to fans, seeing as they were booing them anyway thanks to an almost sycophantic booking program for the pair. Nikki and Brie have been babyfaces for the last 2 years, turning face mostly by disappearing rather than through any actual storyline act. As a heel Divas champion for most of 2015, Nikki started life at the top as her sister's oppressor before getting her onside without any real reasonable explanation. Yeah, remember that? How weird was that they just forgot their differences quick sharp? Over the years, the pair took the arms of guest host one week and then stabbed the backs of colleagues the next. Total Divas muddied the water further, with their actions on the scripted reality vehicle often managing to both endear and alienate viewers, which means that while they might go on now to yell about wishing people were never born in the ring, they'll be having lunch with them on the show, making fans that try to follow the events feel like total bellends. Number 2, Chris Jericho. Y2J is easily one of the most flexible wrestlers in terms of how he can work a crowd. He absolutely loves being a heel though, as evidenced by his recent bastard work in New Japan, but over the last 20 years he's been so many different shades of light and dark that he's like a f***ing kaleidoscope in sparkly pants. If you look at his career heel turns though, they've always provided his best work. In 2001 against The Rock, in 2008 against Shawn Michaels, and who can forget the list of Jericho. The man got paper over. I don't understand how he does it, but I'm so glad that he does. And it's testament to his skills that he's able to do all this while interacting with wrestlers that he doesn't work with full time. And number 1, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle in his original run with the company was sheer brilliance, with his ultra competitiveness and natural skill allowing him to shoot to the main event and stay there. He was, as he put it himself, a wrestling machine. Kurt Angle was birthed as Vince McMahon's brilliant spin on the dated American hero during a time that the fan base couldn't have hated anything more. But his incredible work between the ropes eventually turned him babyface when the WWE were forced to fend off invading factions of WCW and ECW in 2001. He turned repeatedly between then and 2006, including a period during December 2002 in which he was effectively both, until a convoluted ruse with heel manager Paul Heyman was revealed after he lifted the WWE Championship from the Big Show. He was the man in the ring, and whichever side he cut it, was able to draw big responses from the crowd wherever he went. Top lad with a banana back.